When you think of a family dinner, what comes to mind? Is it a bustling kitchen, laughter echoing, or maybe a quiet, shared moment after a long day? For many of us, it conjures up images of connection, conversation, and a sense of belonging. But the family dinner, as we know it, has actually gone through some incredible transformations over the centuries. It's a story not just about what we ate, but crucially, about how we connected, or sometimes, how we didn't, around that very same table. Let's dig into that, shall we? Back before the industrial age, family meals were absolutely central to daily life. Think about it, most families lived and worked together, often on farms. The dinner table wasn't just where you ate, it was often the only hot meal of the day, a moment for everyone to gather after shared labor. It was a primary hub for conversation, for passing down stories, for teaching, and for solidifying family bonds. This wasn't just a tradition, it was the very foundation of social connection and family structure, a non-negotiable part of existence. Then came the Industrial Revolution, and things really started to shift. People moved from farms to cities, from working at home to working in factories. Suddenly, family members had different work schedules, often long, rigid hours away from home. That made it super tough to coordinate a shared meal. This era also saw the rise of pre-made foods, which, while convenient, subtly started to chip away at the communal effort of meal preparation that used to bring families together. The table, once the undisputed heart, began to lose some of its gravity, which is wild, by the way. Fast forward to post-World War II America, and the pace accelerated even more. The rise of suburbs meant longer commutes for dads, and cars made it easier for families to scatter for activities. Television entered homes, often pulling attention away from conversation at the dinner table. And who could forget the explosion of drive-thrus and other convenience foods? Meals became less about a shared experience and more about speed and individual preferences. The communal aspect of dinner began to feel less like a given and more like an effort, especially with so many new distractions competing for attention. The 80s and 90s brought even more shifts. With more women entering the workforce, dual-income households became the norm, meaning both parents often had demanding careers. This led to the era of latchkey kids and an even greater reliance on quick, easy options like microwave meals. The idea of a traditional, home-cooked family dinner every night started to feel like a luxury, not a given. The challenge wasn't just external distractions, but a fundamental lack of available time for families to simply be together and connect over a meal. Fast forward to the 2000s and today, and we face perhaps the biggest disruptor to dinner table connection: digital devices. Smartphones, tablets, and screens now frequently join us at the table, creating a present but not present dynamic. Yet, it's not all doom and gloom. This era has also seen a rise in meal kits and food delivery services, which, ironically, can free up time for families to actually sit down together. There's a growing appreciation for quality over quantity when it comes to shared meals, emphasizing intentional connection over obligation. So, after all these changes, why does it still matter so much? Well, the research is pretty clear. Regular family meals are linked to a host of positive outcomes. We're talking improved communication within the family, stronger bonds that build resilience, and even better academic performance for kids. For teenagers, it's been shown to lower the risk of substance abuse. It turns out that those shared moments, those conversations, that simple act of eating together, are incredibly powerful for development and well-being. It's not just a meal, it's a vital social tool. In many ways, we've come full circle. We've gone from dinner being a non-negotiable part of daily life to something we have to actively choose and protect. But the good news is, we're seeing a renewed focus on intentional connection. Families are finding creative ways to make mealtime special again, whether it's through screen-free Sundays, involving kids in meal prep, or simply prioritizing that one shared meal a day or week. The form might change, but the core human need for connection, fostered around a shared table, remains as strong as ever. From a necessity in agrarian life to a precious, sometimes challenging, modern ritual, the family dinner has really transformed. But throughout all these changes, its underlying purpose has endured, to be a place of social connection. It reminds us that even in our fast-paced, digitally saturated world, the simple act of sharing food and conversation with the people we care about can ground us, strengthen us, and remind us of what truly matters. So, perhaps the question isn't whether family dinner is dead, but how we choose to keep its spirit alive in our own homes, right?